Hello guys, we are back with our next lecture. In this lecture, let us go through asymptotic notations or order notations for time complexity. So till now we discussed about time complexity, space complexity and all those things, the basics, how we can do for a small kind of algorithm or in a simple way, right? So now let us go through the original way how they are done. Okay, so basically what are asymptotic notations is the first question that comes to your mind, right? So asymptotic notations are nothing but we will be representing a graph for the algorithm with its upper bound and lower bounds. So we will be drawing graphs between lower bounds and upper bounds. So we draw these graphs to represent the best case and the worst case of an algorithm. So to determine them, to check the efficiency of the algorithms, we will be doing those graphs. So to choose the best algorithm, we need to check the efficiency of algorithm. Okay, so checking the efficiency is nothing but time complexity. So we'll be checking with respect to time. So efficiency is measured using time complexity. So we use these asymptotic notations to measure the time complexity. Asymptotic notation is a way to represent time complexity. So these are the three representations of asymptotic notations: big O, omega and theta. I think we already discussed these three things, exactly the same concepts we had discussed already in data structures. So it is just a revision of those, the same concepts. Okay, so let us continue here. So big O. So from the name we cannot say much about it, but you can remember that is nothing but a big, means some kind of, it's really large or maximum time. So maximum time we have discussed previously, it is nothing but worst case. So basically big O is represented or used for representing worst case of an algorithm. Okay, so I just told you the thing, that's what I have written here. So the notation is used to represent the upper bound. So maximum time is nothing but the upper bound, right? So if usually the program takes this much time, if now it is taking this much time, so this is nothing but the worst case, right? So that's what this algorithm will be defining for the upper bound. So that is not lower, that is upper to the our function. So that is nothing but the upper bound. Upper bound of an algorithm running time is maximum time or worst case time. Okay, so basically now let us go through the original definition that you will be finding in the books. So the function f of n, so for a particular function f of n, big O of g of n is equals to big O of g of n. So basically for a function f of n, the time complexity, that is nothing but big O of g of n is equals to big O of g of n if and only if there exists a possible constant c and n naught such that f of n is less than or equal to c for all n where n greater than or equal to n naught. Okay, so understanding this is really simple with respect to a graph. Okay, so assume that this is the original function, this is the original function, that is nothing but f of n. Okay, whereas the time complexity, and that is also with respect to big O. Big O means it will be taking more time, right? So assume that this is the time complexity of the algorithm with the maximum inputs or maximum output, maximum time taking time is that. So this should be the upper bound. Okay, so big O of g of n if and only if there exists a constant c and n naught such that f of n is less than c into g of n. That is indirectly saying that c into g of n is greater than f of n. So it is above indirectly, right? For all n greater than or equal to n naught. So from where it is greater, from here. So from that point you will be assuming it as n equal to n naught. So that is what the graph represents. So basically from the graph only you can write the above equation, the above definition. The function f of n is equals to big O of g of n if and only if there exists a positive constant c naught and n naught such that f of n is less than c into g of n. That is the reason why we will be saying c into g of n is the worst case, that is saying the upper bound. Okay, similarly the opposite of this is nothing but omega, which will be saying about the lower bound. So omega, it is used to denote the lower bound of an algorithm, that is nothing but minimum or the best case. Okay, so again the same definition with just the symbol change. There we used to have less than, here we are having greater than, and here we are having big O, sorry, instead of big O we are having omega. Okay, so the function f of n is equals to omega of g of n if and only if there exists a positive constant c into c and n naught such that f of n is greater than c into g of n for all n and n, okay, for all n greater than or equal to 0, n naught. Okay, so basically here also I just drawn a function. So here we have assumed this as f naught, sorry, fn. So basically we are discussing about omega, right? So omega is nothing but the minimum time, so it is the best case. So basically now the function which we have defined should be below it, c into g of n. So here you can say this is the minimum or the best case. Above is worst case, below is minimum case or the best case. Okay, so let us continue with the theta. So now we are done with the best and worst. So the rest, the left out thing is nothing but the average case. So theta comes under the average case. So it is used to denote the average running time of an algorithm. So the function f of n is equals to theta of g of n if and only if there exists a positive constant c1, c2, n naught. Because here we will be considering both upper, lower and the middle, which is original f of n into c1 into g of n into c2 into g of n, in this way. Okay, for all n and n greater than or equal to n naught. Okay, so here is the graph. So one will be the minimum and one will be the maximum. So okay, so here is the graph and this is the normal function and this is for n naught, that is nothing but the maximum, and this is for minimum. So average of these two will be the average case. Okay, so I hope everyone got a clear idea on this. So in the next lecture we'll be going through some examples, like some basic examples, so that it will be clear for you. So let us meet in the next tutorial. Thank you. Thanks for watching.